Hi, everybody. We're delighted to be here and to have this conversation. My name is Luke Profio. I am a current undergraduate student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison studying genetics and genomics while also doing stem cell research in the field of cardiovascular medicine. I am the campus representative of the UW Student Society for Stem Cell Research as well. And I'm very excited to have Dr. Riggs with me here. Dr. Riggs is the founder of the Student Society for Stem Cell Research International. He got his PhD from the Virginia Commonwealth University, and he now works at Harvard University as a research fellow for biomedical informatics, doing work with stem cells in the neural field. Dr. Riggs, welcome.
Thank you, Luke. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to us seeing a little stem cell education and a bit about SSSCR and the exciting things that this field promises for today and the coming generations.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have some great questions here to start, beginning with how you got involved with stem cell research. What inspired you along that pathway through your experience?
So it's interesting. So I actually was taking my senior year undergrad, and I was taking a nonprofit profit and public policy course, as well as cell bio. I was changing over from mathematics and looking at where I wanted to go. Biology was becoming interesting, and in the course they asked us to do an assignment on a controversial topic and to write it up. So SubBio, the project in SubBio, the project is a nonprofit, they converged. I read about stem cell research. Took a little time to understand it. So I kept reading and wanting to know more. And this was actually 2003, and I started downloading everything I could off the internet and just totally got inspired. I mean, spiked and inspired, and that passion and drive for it has never changed. I'm as excited today as I was first learning about it. What was striking about stem cell research when I first started reading about it was two things. One, the regenerative capacity of these cells to heal and repair, and nothing until stem cells has really offered that kind of promise for human medicine. And then that it was controversial. And that there's people that were literally trying to shut the science down. And this is when George Bush was president, and there's all kinds of fights going on in the States. Internationally, there's actually an organization called the Regenerative Medicine Foundation, which at the time was the Genetics Policy Institute. They actually waged a fight and won at the United Nations by a single vote by Bernard Siegel in a collaborated with some other organizations in California, with the California Institute for General Medicine, and then CAMR, and they all sent out like 35,000 faxes to the UN, and they were able to save to stop the treaty against the science by a single vote. I mean, there's a lot of other examples of the fight that we had, and that's something that the Student Society for Stem Cell Research wants. People to appreciate that this research didn't come free, and so in that period, I joined an organization called the Stem Cell Action Network, and that organization, I realized that students have a powerful voice, and there wasn't really a society or organization that was providing students the voice to say how important this research is to us. For us to pursue and to advance and to bring this realities to fruition and the promise for patients. So there, the Student Society for Stem Cell Research was born at the campus of the University of South Florida in 2003, and we've been working hard ever since to educate students to get them involved.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the organization has grown a lot since then. But in addition to that, the field of stem cell research or regenerative medicine has also changed a lot. And how have you noted those changes? And how has the controversy surrounding stem cell research changed as well?
So so a lot has happened in almost dare say 15 years, but a lot has happened in 15 years, and public policy a lot's happened, and in the science a lot's happened. In public policy, uh, there's been a lot of a lot of support. The support has increased. The funding for it's still not sufficient. This is a pillar of medicine that isn't funded to that level of what it can bring to society. Scientifically, we have so much more to work with than we had back then. One of the biggest changes in the field is a technology called induced pluripotent stem cells. And there's also other patient-derived methods. It's not just iPS cells for short, but patient-derived methodologies are really have vastly changed how we approach basic research and eventually translational medicine for a variety of reasons. We still get the capacity to mold these cells to where we want them to be. There's neurons, cardiac tissue, but with patient-derived cells, you actually can, in principle, match them to the patient, but you can also carry a genetic basis for that illness. So, a lot of diseases are genetic, if not almost all diseases are genetic at their core, and we're able to actually capture the genetic signatures, in principle, with these patient methodologies. So, patient-based cell models. So that's one of the things that's changed. 3D cultures, scaffolding, bioprinting. I mean, we have so many tools. Genetic engineering, CRISPR, Cas9 technology, and talents, and the ability, and there's a convergence with when you take when you can repair genetic defects, put them in cells that heal, and then successfully implement those cellular technologies and to the patient, introduce them. I mean, medicine will not look the same
Yeah.
in 10 to 20 years from now. It'll be a vastly different world and a much better world.
Hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting you brought that up. And also at the same time, you have the digital revolution, you have AI and digital imprinting as well. So it'll just be fascinating to see how all that works together in changing medicine.
Our bill. So I entered some mathematics into this field with a kind of a bridge into bioinformatics, and the amount of data. I mean, we talk about big data now, like everywhere. Well, bioinformatics, in 2005 was kind of, biology actually, to me, is the field that brought in big data science because we have so much information within each cell that we have to extract and try to understand. And we will get there. We will be able to get predictive of life. Proceed will get predictive and understand, how these cells differentiate or other aspects of knowledge assembly and predictive approaches using artificial intelligence and digital approaches. But these things will come together. But then, in order to understand the cell and what it's doing, we need these machine learning or these approaches for sure. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So how is SSSCR International along these changes advancing the field of regenerative medicine?
Well, I'm a big fan of SSSCR,
Hmm.
and I would like every student out there to join. We provide students a place to connect, to learn about the field. We've launched a new website recently where students now have the opportunity to be authors. Students can start chapters, get more students involved. SSCR, our history is in advocacy and public policy. We're grassroots driven at heart. We're, in general, a student-led society, although I guess I can't really call myself quite a student anymore. But the students are largely taking leadership and taking over the society, not as mutiny. Oh, they still love me. I think students still love me. No, we have some great leaders in SSCR. Luke and I were just talking. Well, one Luke has done a great job himself, but we're just talking about some of the great leaders in SSCR, and I guess
Yeah,
I'll have to mention
absolutely.
Antra Rao, and what a great job she's been doing, and so in our chapters, the University of Toronto chapter, one of our great leaders, Gazal Haddad, she's really just been a force up there like a tornado. Just getting chapter started in Canada, getting high school students involved. The Berkeley chapter holds a conference each year. The University of Toronto chapter holds a conference each year as well. And the group out of Berkeley has been the longest-standing chapter in SSR's history, going for 12, 13 years now, since
Yeah.
2005. They were formed back when the California Institute for General Medicine and Proposition 71 were advocating for them. So we provided students for a long time. We've been providing students a voice for advocacy, a voice to learn more about the science, um, opportunities for publication. Um, Chapters can get involved in community service. Members or chapters can be liaisons for undergraduate research opportunities, and in general, just trying to fit a need to get student support. I think sometimes we forget. Well, I want to say we, but in general, undergraduates, there's a lot of opportunities that we still in need to support undergraduates to know what those opportunities are and help them with that.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed that a lot in my work as well. Uh, in fact, I wouldn't be studying stem cells right now if it weren't for SSSCR. So I am ever grateful to the organization and
Well, that's
everything that
pretty
you're
cool.
doing as well, Joe. So.
They're just trying to get me to blush, Luke.
All right, on
That's
to the
it.
next question. uh, what is the most exciting thing, in your opinion, about stem cell research and the most current advances? There have been a lot, but
Well, I think that we covered some of the big topics, but I mean, there are particular diseases like Huntington's, multiple sclerosis, sickle cell. I mean, there's juvenile diabetes. I mean, we're going to see real medicine. We're going to see real solutions. We're going to see a lot of these diseases and conditions become footnotes in history books, and and that's the most exciting thing to me. That we're going to see lives saved. We're going to see people cured. And actually, in the beginning of advocacy, we were almost going to say that we would see people cured because that was promising too much. But we're going to see people cured. And they're going to be cured because of regenerative medicine, because of gene therapy, putting these two together. And in other aspects, just other, you know, technologies that we'll be able to take to the clinic for other benefits, in terms of, like knee repair or things like that. So, but we're going to see life-threatening conditions cured, and that's most exciting.
great, great. I I'd have to agree with you on that. I think that also in disease modeling and drug screening, like it's not even necessarily the stem cell, but what you can learn from that and then apply to people and drugs or other means, and it's fascinating.
I totally agree. Actually, the research I'm doing, I'm in the lab of Roy Perlis over here. He's a psychiatrist at Massachusetts General Hospital in Cambridge. And if you think about it, I'm a cell biology guy, and I'm in a psychiatrist lab. I mean, that actually is pretty awesome and pretty
Yeah,
amazing right there. That we're actually, a big aim of this project is to go from clinical notes down to what's happening within in the cell, and that's pretty that could hit my list of most amazing things. But in that, it's actually not necessarily cellular therapy in this particular case. It's actually about the cellular model. So we developed a cellular model using patient-derived cells. We can make the cells that we want, and we can carry genetic basis behind it, and we can study what their phenotypic differences are. And so, in that case, it is for pharmacological, for drug discovery, translational medicine, and so stem cells often is about the cell replacement, it's also about a whole lot more too.
Mhm. Absolutely. So to end this, how can students get involved with the Student Society for Stem Cell Research, and what can they do as a part of the organization?
There's quite a few things. So one, join online. Go to studentsregenerativemedicine.org, students plural. Join and become part of SSCR. Students can start a chapter at their school. Students can apply to write a blog article by contacting us. We're very active on social media, especially our Facebook account, and they can join us on social media. And our favorite is to start a chapter. Start a chapter at their
Yeah,
school,
absolutely.
and um, and also educate their family and friends about the excitement of stem cell research and the current news and advances, as well as look for opportunities in the lab as well.
Great. Well, this has been a great talk, Dr. Riggs. I thank you for your time, and I think we hit some really important points here. And looking forward.
My absolute pleasure. Like I really enjoy this. I really enjoy this, Luke. And FSCR's National just wants to see the most students get involved that we can and to help them in their journey in their educational career.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'm so happy that there's a voice for this upcoming science, and it'll be very exciting to see how everything unfolds moving forward.
Great. Thanks.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for our talk, Dr. Riggs, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.